What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's Thursday, November the 30th. We got 9 games on today's schedule. As usual, we're going to break every single game down, do some analysis, try to find an edge in those games, and come up with some winning picks. Something we do every single day on this channel. We go bookie hunting. As usual, guys, I'm going to be posting my best bet of the day down as a pinned comment on this video about an hour before tip-off. Also on my Twitter at Pick'emNBABets if you guys want to give me a follow there. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit those notification bells. I would really appreciate the support. And with all that now out of the way, guys, let's take a look at tonight's action. Let's go. 11.5 point home favorites. I had them favored by 11. Portland 5-12 on the year, just 2 wins in their last 5 games. They're currently on a road trip. This is going to be their 3rd game. So far, I've split their first 2. Looked pretty good though in the first one against the Bucks. Only a 6-point loss in a game that they were up 20. Could have easily pulled off the shocker in Milwaukee, but Milwaukee made a late surge, ended up winning that game. And their last one against the Pacers, 114-110. Very good performance for Portland. They look like they are possibly on an uptrend. The Cleveland Cavs, they are 10-8 on the year, 3 wins in their last 5 games, 2 straight wins at home against the Toronto Raptors and in their last one against the Atlanta Hawks. Donovan Mitchell struggled hard against the Raptors. Last game put up a 40-piece. He looked sharp in that game. The Cleveland Cavs, guys, underperforming so far this year, 10-8 on the year, just 5-5 at home. They've been struggling with injuries. Finally, they look to be healthy. And in this spot, guys, this number might look a little big, but Cleveland at home, guys, when they are healthy and they are rocking, I really like them. I'm going to take them here with the minus 11.5. Even though Portland, guys, has been playing pretty well last 2 games, I don't think they can sustain it. They're a respectable ball club, guys, especially when they're healthy as well, but I like Cleveland in this spot with the minus 11.5. Up next, we got the Charlotte Hornets in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Nets currently 8-point home favorites. I had them favored by 6. The Charlotte Hornets 5-11 on the year. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak, just 2 wins in their last 5. Struggling with injuries once again, guys. LaMelo Ball, the team's best player, out with an ankle injury, expected to miss time. Also, the rookie first-round draft pick, Brandon Miller, also listed as questionable for today with an ankle injury. Also an important player for Charlotte. Got to check his status before game time. The Hornets, do look like they are headed towards another downtrend. The Brooklyn Nets, 8-point home favorites, 3 wins in their last 5 games, 3-game winning streak. Looked sharp in all 3 of those wins, winning all 3 of them comfortably. 15 against the Miami Heat, 9-point win against the Bulls, and a 12-point win in their last one against the Raptors. Not only winning, but winning comfortably. They're also going to get some good news today. Cam Thomas, the team's leading scorer, the little guard, coming back from an ankle injury. He's missed the last 5 or 6 games for Brooklyn. The reason for this high line, this 8-point line, I had them favored by 6. This is kind of tough, guys, to lay these many points against Brooklyn, even though they have been winning comfortably. And my system over here, the line estimate being 2 points lower. Usually I would take the Nets in this spot. I'm just having a little trouble laying this 8. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go with a play on the total. I'm going to take the 226.5 over here. Both teams like to shoot a lot of threes, play up-tempo basketball. I think they can get over this number. Over 226.5 is my play in this game. And my lean is on Brooklyn with the minus 8. I don't know, just got to think this over a little bit more. Closer towards tip-off, I might get there with Brooklyn. We'll see. Up next, we got the Indiana Pacers in Miami taking on the Heat. The Heat currently 2.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 3.5. The Pacers, they are currently 9-7 on the year. Just 2 wins in their last 5 games. A very inconsistent team, guys. If we look at their recent form, it's loss, win, loss, win, loss. They can't put together any kind of streak, whether that be a winning streak or a losing streak. It's just anything goes with the Indiana Pacers. Inconsistent ball club. We've talked about them plenty of times. On the injury report, nothing to report here. They should be at full strength. The Miami Heat, 2.5-point home favorites, 10-8 on the year. Currently, though, on a 3-game losing streak. Dropped the last 2 of their recent road trip and lost their first one at home against the Bucks in their last game, the in-season game on Tuesday. Dropped that 131-124. We're very competitive in that game. Actually had a lead late, but Milwaukee made the big plays, ended up giving the Heat a 7-point loss. In this ball game, guys, they have been dealing with some injuries lately. The Miami Heat, they are expected to get. They're expected to have all their players in. Only Jimmy Butler still listed as questionable. He's missed the last 2 or 3 games. We do got to check his stats. The team's best player, very, very important. Now in this game, guys, if you look at Indiana's recent trend of the loss, win, loss, win, loss, It looks like they are due for a win. And if you look at the over-under, it's very high at 238.5, which means that the books expect this to be an up-tempo game. Up-tempo basketball, I think, favors the Indiana Pacers in this spot. So I'm going to take him here with the plus 2.5. For the video, I will have it at plus 2.5. But if Jimmy Butler comes back, this line should get bumped up at least another point. We could probably get the Pacers at plus 3.5. Indiana, though, my side in this game. Up next, we got the Detroit Pistons in New York taking on the Knicks. Knicks currently 13.5 point home favorites. I had them favored by 12.5. The Pistons 2-16 on the year, 15-game losing streak, worst team in the NBA. They were in action last night. It's going to be a second night of back-to-back for Detroit. Big blowout loss to the Lakers at home. The team looks demoralized, guys. Just the energy isn't there. Are they as bad as this record indicates? I don't think they are, but they just can't get that spark to get them going. The Detroit Pistons. Now, the New York Knicks, 10-7 on the year, 3 wins in their last 5 games, playing pretty well. They've been at home for their last few games, comfortable, sleeping in their own beds. Now, 13.5 point favorites. The chances are, guys, they do win and blow the Pistons out in this game. I can't really lay these many points, though, on the Knicks, even though they are playing against Detroit and on the second night of back-to-back. What I'm going to do here, since the chances are that the Knicks do blow this game open and win by a lot, I was looking at the player props for some of the better players on the Knicks on the totals, and I did come up with Jalen Brunson over here. I got him under 24.5 points. If this game goes as expected and the Knicks win by a lot, his minutes will probably be down. Maybe he doesn't reach this 24.5 since a lot of the bench players will probably get some minutes in this game. I'm going to take a prop bet here with Jalen Brunson under 24.5 points. Up next, we got the Milwaukee Bucks in Chicago taking on the Bulls. The Bucks currently 9-point road favorites. I had them favored by 8.5. The Milwaukee Bucks are 13-5 on the year, 4 wins in their last 5 games, 3-game winning streak. The team on an uptrend, playing pretty good basketball. On the injury report, Pat Connaughton, rotation player off the bench, is expected to miss tonight with an ankle injury. The only player from the rotation expected to miss. Chicago Bulls, they are 5-14 on the year, 5-game losing streak. The team off to an extremely slow start. Like we've talked about plenty of times, guys, the Bulls look like they are slowly going to blow things up. It's not working with this current roster. 5-game losing streak, obviously on a downtrend. Been losing all their games recently and losing them badly. Over here we see a 9-point line. Bucks favored in this game. The Chicago Bulls do have some players, very important ones, on the injury report. Actually, some of their two top players, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, both listed as questionable. We also got Alex Caruso, the energy guy, also listed as questionable. Now, guys, obviously with the status of these 3 players up in the air, it's hard to put up any kind of predictions in this game. I'm actually looking at a lean here on Chicago with the +9. I know it looks crazy. The only reason being, guys, is Chicago, like I've talked about in previous videos, when they play against some of the top tier teams at home, they do tend to perform well. Milwaukee, one of the better teams in the league. I know it looks like a long shot, and I am going to wait closer towards tip-off to see who is going to be playing and who isn't for the Bulls. If all these players that are listed as questionable play, I might take a shot here with Chicago and the points at home, even though it does look risky as hell. Chicago +9, my lean in this game. Up next, we got the Utah Jazz in Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves. Timberwolves currently 10.5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 10. Utah 6-12 on the year, just 1-8 on the road. They were actually in action last night, yesterday, against Memphis. 105-91, another double-digit loss for the Utah Jazz. Very poor away from Salt Lake City. Lauri Markkanen missed out on that game. He's missed the last 3, not expected to play again tonight for Utah. The Minnesota Timberwolves 13-4 on the year, tops in the Western Conference, 4 wins in their last 5 games, obviously on an uptrend. Nice win in their last one against the Thunder at home. The only bad spot from that game, Anthony Edwards drove to the bucket late in that game, took off. The opposing player tried to take a charge. Anthony Edwards landed on his hip, got injured, did not come back in that game, listed as doubtful for tonight, which means Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, 2 of the starters, not expected to play tonight. Even with those 2 players out, guys, the Minnesota Timberwolves still the big favorite in this game. Utah underperforming on the road. I am leaning towards a play on Minnesota here, but I think an even better play is going to be on the total. Utah just put up 91 points yesterday in Memphis, second night of back-to-back. Minnesota is not going to have Anthony Edwards scoring. Um, Timberwolves still the favorite, like I said. I don't know if they'll be able to rack up too many points. Utah put up 91 yesterday. I just can't see where the scoring is going to come from there. I'm going to take a play here on the total. Under 223.5 is going to be my play in this game. Up next, we've got the LA Lakers in Oklahoma City taking on the Thunder. Thunder currently 6.5 point home favorites. I had them favored by 6. The Lakers are 11-8 on the year. 3 wins in their last 5 games. They were in action last night in Detroit. Took care of business there early. Jumped all over the Detroit Pistons in that game. Big blowout win for the Lakers. Second night of a back-to-back tonight. On the injury report, nothing new to report. Everyone who was playing in Detroit should be playing again tonight. The Thunder, 6.5 point home favorites. They are 11-6 on the year. 2-game losing streak, though, for the Thunder. Granted, did come against some very good competition. They lost at home to the Sixers, and in their last one, 3-point loss in Minnesota to the Timberwolves. Josh Giddey listed as questionable. We all know his off-court stuff. They're still investigating, listed as questionable. We don't know his status quite just yet. The Thunder guys rested. The Lakers coming in on a second night back-to-back with travel. Oklahoma City Thunder, rightfully so, the favorite in this game. And I'm actually going to take a shot with them here with the -6.5. Giddey or not, I think they're going to have too much for the Lakers in this game. Let's take the Thunder here with the -6.5. Up next, we've got the Atlanta Hawks in San Antonio taking on the Spurs. Hawks currently 8-point road favorites. I have them favored by 5.5. We see a 2.5 point discrepancy. My line estimate with the actual line. We'll look at this number shortly. The reason for this high line for the Hawks. First, let's look at the team's recent form. Atlanta 8-9 on the year. Just 2 wins in their last 5. 2-game losing streak. But the 2 games that they did lose, guys, were on the road against the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavs. Nothing to be ashamed of in those 2 games. Both teams, some of the top tier teams in the NBA. The Hawks on the injury report, nothing really to report here. They should be at full strength. San Antonio Spurs, worst team in the Western Conference at 3-14, 12-game losing streak. Only the Detroit Pistons are worse than the San Antonio Spurs. And in this game, to make things worse, Victor Wembanyama listed as questionable. The first pick in the draft has some hip tightness, listed as questionable. Looking at this line, I'm guessing that he probably will not play, which will make things even tougher for San Antonio. Now in this ballgame, guys, the Atlanta Hawks 8-point road favorites. Looks like a huge line. But recently, guys, the Hawks, they were in a similar spot, taking on the Wizards on the road. Against some of these bottom tier teams, guys, they don't play down to the competition. Usually they go in and get the job done. And I think they're going to do this again in this game, Wembanyama or not. Hopefully he ends up playing, guys. We can get a little better line for the Hawks. But for now, I'm going to take him here with the -8. I think they will go in there and take care of business, send San Antonio to their 13th straight loss. Atlanta -8, my pick in this game. And in our last game of the night, we got the LA Clippers in Golden State taking on the Warriors. Warriors currently 5-point home favorites. I had them favored by 3. 5 points, 2 points higher, guys, than my line estimate. The Clippers 8-9 on the year. 3 wins in their last 5 games. Bounced back from that disappointing, humiliating loss to an extremely shorthanded Nuggets team. Got a wire-to-wire win on the road yesterday in Sacramento. Tonight on the injury report, Norman Powell listed as questionable with a knee injury. Nobody else on the injury report, even though, guys, the last couple of seasons we have gotten the Clippers used to load management. This year that has not been the case. The injury report currently only has Norman Powell. The Golden State Warriors, 8-10 on the year, dropped to 11th in the West. Just 2 wins in their last 5 games. Obviously, the Warriors have been disappointing to start this season. In their last game, guys, very disappointing loss against the Sacramento Kings on the road. A game that was theirs for the taking. They controlled it for 47.5 minutes. But at the end, Sacramento made the big plays. Gave the Warriors the 10th loss of the year. To make matters worse, Golden State lost Chris Paul and Gary Payton in that game to injuries. Both are not expected to play tonight. Very important pieces off the bench for Golden State. Now, guys, this 5-point line obviously is very, very high. The only thing that I can think of when looking at this line is maybe the insiders know something that we don't. Maybe the Clippers go back to some load management, or else this line makes absolutely no sense. We are going to have to monitor the injury report in this game. Now, if everyone plays for the Clippers, say even Norman Powell is out, this line is still very high for Golden State. This is going to be a contrarian strategy bet. Everything is looking bad for Golden State, but I am going to take him here with the -5. I think the +5 is going to get love for the Clippers, even though they are on the second night of back-to-back. That is if we don't get any last-minute surprises on the injury report for the Clippers. Golden State -5, my pick in this game. And that is going to conclude today's video, guys. 9-game schedule. We broke each one of the games down, did our analysis, got our picks, and we are ready to go. I will be posting my best bet of the day down as a pinned comment as usual, guys, about an hour before tip-off, so check back if you are interested in that play. Even though I can pretty much tell you from now about 90%, I am leaning on a play with Cleveland with the minus 11.5. I do like the Cavs in this spot. They are at full strength, playing well. I think they're going to get back to what we got used to seeing them from last year at home. They were very dominant against some of these lower tier teams, usually take care of business. I am leaning on my best bet of the day with Cleveland as of now. I will make it official, though, a little bit later. And guys, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that like the video, new guys, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of you. Thank you once again. Good luck on your plays, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good one, guys. Later.